Do you trust your need to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News. 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 News.
Finally. Boy, the things you gotta do. Yes, it is Nailsin News, where I read news stories to you. And I am Mr. Nailsin. So it works that way, you know? No audio. All right, let me check. Rumble. Yeah, it's working. So I don't know what that's about. But let's just go to the news. That's probably for the best. Yeah. Is it Virginia, I guess? Virginia Christian school teacher accused of having sex with male student. Here she is. Yeah. Yeah. It actually looks like one of those things that you wear when you're getting a haircut. But yeah. So Caitlin Campbell was arrested and booked on the Halifax County Adult Detention Center. The 34-year-old was charged with having consensual sex with a child 15 years or older, as well as taking indecent liberties with a child by a person in a custodial relationship. No, she's not the school janitor. That just means she's in charge because she's the teacher, you understand. So anyway, Campbell was a school teacher at C.H. Friend School. Somebody of the initial C.H. had friends and made a school. I don't know. The teacher was released on a $2,500 bond on the day of her arrest. Campbell was an English teacher at the Christian School, which taught students between the 7th and 12th grades. The outlet WSET reported that school officials say Campbell was immediately terminated after the allegations against her came to light. Yeah. We chose integrity instead of it being swept under the rug, the school's headmistress, Dana Jones. So she probably didn't sound like that, you know. Scripture is very clear that it was done in the dark. It was going to be brought to light. We understand that taking it to the police department, it was going to come shine a light on us. We took what we were told to them and let them carry on with their investigation. Well, officials say the alleged incident happened on November 1st, 2024. People reached out to the Commonwealth Attorney for more information about the investigation and charges against Campbell, but did not immediately receive a response. So they're not proud of what happened, but they figured we don't want her around here no more. And they decided to go to the police and said, hey, one of our teachers is having sex with the student. Oh, yeah? So they ran her in there. 34. Huh. Looks like this is aging her rapidly, you know. But well, these things happen. But anyway, I don't know, teaching English, a lot of times it can result in a lot of literature. I refer to Shakespeare and stuff like that. And there's a lot of romantic scenes in there. So perhaps, she was acting it out with him, and one thing led to another. And whoopsie, whoopsie indeed. Yes, a Christian school teacher. So it happens there too. Nowhere is safe for you chillins. But people tend to like to have sex, I think that's why they do it a lot. But the circumstances is where, you can have a certain amount of problems. Such is the case here. Arrest after coitus was interrupted. Well, the common term is, cock block. But anyway, a Florida man is behind bars for allegedly head-butting his girlfriend after she became upset when he began watching a pornographic video while they were having sex. Okay, she felt insulted because he's like, look, you're not doing it for me. I'm going to have to watch this video. Well, she didn't like that. Donald Naples, 44, and the victim were recently engaged in consensual sexual intercourse when Naples simultaneously began engaging with some adult entertainment. The 3 a.m. film session, however, did not sit well with the 50-year-old victim. The woman became upset by the defendant's actions and told him to stop. She also directed Naples to finish himself. Yeah. During the argument that followed, Naples allegedly headbutted the victim in the nose, causing significant bleeding. The woman was transported to a local hospital and treated for her injuries. The couple, investigators reported, have been in a romantic relationship for approximately 6 months. Wow, that's nice, but I guess it's not really working out anymore. Anyway, after being read his rights, Naples declined to provide police with a statement. Well, that is his right, since he has a previous battery conviction on his record. That doesn't mean he went into the store and stole some door cells or anything like that. No. This means he beat up somebody. So the charge against Naples was enhanced to felony count, locked up in lieu of $10,000 bond. He has been ordered to have no contact with the victim. So I guess it's just him and his porn now, Naples was arrested last year for methamphetamine possession, but eventually pled to a reduced paraphernalia charge. He also has convictions for robbery, marijuana possession, resisting, and violating probation on his rap sheet. Yeah. His mugshot has this look of like, well, here we go again. I'm sure that happens a lot, But the problem, obviously, was she just didn't do it for him, And she was like, turn that shit off. And okay, I can understand him being upset with her or whatnot. And I can understand her being upset with him. But I think the mistake here was him smashing her nose with his head. Yeah. Dave Thompson says, not bad. Her plus makeup, 7 out of 10. That would be the naughty teacher. He tells a child over the age of 15 need more info. I think it was, wasn't it 15 and under? Yeah, because I mean, look, if he's like, what if he's 17, damn near 18? You know, it's a different scenario. But whatever, she's not supposed to do that because of the custodial relationship, you know, and she's just not supposed to do that, you know. Nodak, the quote was there. You, the public, is going to find out about it. So we are making a statement about how against it we are before you can criticize us. Yeah. 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 Eight times. This is the ultimate insult to a woman. This is great. Well, yeah. I mean, it's like they're going at it, and he's like, "It's like, God, what is it? Come on, yeah, hang on." And he's like, "Yeah. What are you doing? What are you? No, what? You got your phone out? Oh. You know, that's kind of how it went. You know." 8 times. So maybe it was Homu Pruno. Oh, well, that would be really insulting. This is the only way I can get. Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah, that maybe that was the case. Seems like they would have included that in the story, you know, but they didn't. So, yeah, maybe that was definitely that was. She was like, "Oh, you're is that what you're doing?" You know, and then that's probably a deal breaker, you know. I would imagine. So she's like, "Well, I guess I'll go for someone else down at the old honky tonk juke joint." But it's tough, you know. 8 times in porno warps the brain. Well, yeah. Especially in that case. It's like, I'm not gay. I just have to watch that to get, you know. Okay. All right. Well, now we're going to take a look at some people who just wanted to help their parents out. And I don't know, things went horribly awry. Yeah. Tennessee man. Hey, that's Dixon's neighborhood. Accused of burning his... Oh, wait, let me do it again. Tennessee man accused of burning his father's body in fire pit. And I'm looking at a photograph of the gentleman, and he seems really happy about the whole thing. He's kind of giggling about it. So, well, let's see what happened. A 56-year-old man allegedly placed his father's body in a fire pit and burned his remains. Well, the sheriff's office discovered information suggesting that Richard Wilder hid his dad's remains at a location in Mullins Cove. Detectives and investigators with the 12th Judicial District Attorney General's office responded to the scene. Authorities collected human remains from a fire pit and sent them to the medical examiner's office in Nashville for positive identification. The sheriff's office did not say how the victim died. Oh. They probably don't know yet. I mean, depending on how badly burned the remains are, it might be somewhat difficult. Now, if they got a good bit of the skull and there's a bullet hole in it, well, then you're going to know. But, you know. So, according to the Chattanooga Times Free Press, Marion County Sheriff Ronnie Bo Burnett said Wilder's father died in December 2024, and Wilder allegedly took him over to a spot on Mullins Cove and tried to destroy the body by fire. Now, why would he do this? And how do they know he died in December 2024? You know, they don't know how he died, but they know exactly, well, the month anyway, and the year of when it happened. So, I mean, he's like, oh, man, funerals, they're horribly expensive. And this is true. So I figured, look, I'll just dump him in a fire pit. You know, they used to do it all the time in them their olden days. So maybe that's all there is. I doubt it, though. Authorities arrested Wilder at his home on August 14th on a charge of abuse of a corpse He was booked. Now, I mean, what else are you going to do with the corpse, you know? I mean, other than bury it. But I guess that would be abuse of a corpse too, you know? But, you know, cremation is preferable to a lot of people, you know? So, but I guess it counts. Yeah, they got to hold him on something. Anyway, he was booked into the Marion County Justice Center and is scheduled to have his court appearance and all that. Well, of course, at the moment, it can only be speculation. But odds are he had something to do with his father's death. Yeah. So he incinerates the corpse, thereby eliminating the potential for figuring that out. How did he die? Well, there's not much for the coroner to inspect, so there you go. But in the picture, he does appear to be really happy about the circumstances. So, must be some mental illness to throw in here too, you know. All right, I don't know. It's just, that's how Daddy wanted to go. I did it, Daddy. I did it. You know, could be that. Well, if we get an update, we'll take another look. But it's probably that. But again, all suspects are innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, see? Covered all that. 8,000 funerals are fucking expensive. I've paid for 3 now. It was $1,200 to dig the hole. Yeah, it's a bit of a racket. Yeah, not just a bit. Hey Thompson, I should find the bill. 1999, my uncle died with nothing. It was like $8,000, and he had a plot. Captain Vanity, I'm still thinking about your coloring Spider-Man's costume. Yeah, I did finish it. But it takes a while, you know. Hey, Thompson, the second funeral cost me around $12,000. Well, inflation, you know. Captain Vanity, one square at a time. Yep, that's how I did it. I'm that dedicated to a cartoon that'll last, you know, less than a minute. But, you know, like I said, I'm dedicated. Whoops. Okay. Let's take us a little break here. Geez, these are all too long. You're too long, dog. You're too long. Yep. Damn it, I thought I had... what does this one run? 3 minutes? That's not bad. All right, we'll do this instead. Normally I do a Nailsin News one, but good Lord, are they too long, you know? Let's go to the theater, guys.
Okay. Faster than a speeding bullet. Guns are never the answer.
Especially against Superman.
Well, what is this? They blow torching through the screen now?
I don't know. Man, look at that.
What? Oh my God, what is that? Bubbles coming out of his eyes?
Hell, no surprise there. He looks fruity enough to have bubbly tears.
Oh, Red.
God damn, of all the jobs Superman could have had, why does he pick a pussy profession like that?
It's a proud tradition of speaking just fine.
You mean fake news?
Oh!
Damn, could have used the door. Oh, sadly, eyewitnesses can only report seeing the shadow of what appeared to be an airplane, as they were too busy staring at the ground. Damn, that's a lot of complex machinery just to open a door. It's called hinges in a door now, dummy.
Oh, damn it. Where's the fly swatter another one got in? The mechanical monster likes to take a tour before he lands. I like the open concept, but it could really use some furniture. Oh, look, number 5 is alive. Anyone? Anyone?
Is that propeller hitting him in the face? Probably.
Yeah, okay, just ignore me.
Will do. Goddamn robot that poos money? Give me one. Well, he stole it from the bank. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, looking around, this mad scientist guy has all this amazing technology and robots and whatnot. He could probably make a lot more money just selling that technology than robbing a bank.
Well, he must be one of those eccentric geniuses that just, can't understand simple things because he's so complex.
Sounds like another kind of stupid. Speaking of stupid, hey, mechanical monsters, here's a hot tip for your next robbery, courtesy of the front page. Yeah, it's typical of fake news. They glorify crimes and end up with copycats.
No, now that's just terrible.
Yeah, it is.
That's not what I meant.
Ah, bright, shiny trinkets. Yes, the stuff of which mankind has slaughtered himself over for millennia, despite the fact that none of these trinkets provide any useful service. You can't eat them. You really can't even make anything useful out of it.
Yeah, but they're pretty.
Yes, they are.
Lois, what are you doing here?
Tasing you into a case of blue balls.
Uh-oh, Coach is here. Everybody do some squat thrusts. Look out! Mechanical monster. Mechanical monster. Oh, good. We're back. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little snippet of Superman. A. Thompson the third and final funeral was just a cremation. It was around 3,000. See? Cremations. Your best bet. I told the rest of my family to save money because next time it's used tires and diesel fuel, I'm not doing it anymore. See, that's what this guy might have thought. He's just like, no, never again. Susan Dolan says, hail Douglas Nelson. Well, hello, Susan. Thank you. A. Thompson, the funeral home was upset. Just a cremation, no service, no urn, just a plastic container. My response was, no one liked her anyway. Oh, well, geez. Well, that's another thing that could come up, It's like, I got to burn a hole through the wallet again. Why don't we just, put her in the incinerator and be done with it? And that's usually the option. But still, the state wants its cut of everything. And they got to be regulated and they pay those fees. And then they take it out of you on the price of the service. So all of that sort of stuff. Yeah. What? No service? But we got all this stuff. We got to sell flowers and things. And you're like, nah. What's done is done. It's time to move on. Speaking of which, I guess it's time for me to move on to another story of yet another child, dealing with their parents. Yeah. Minnesota man sentenced for fatally stabbing and dismembering his mom after spending all her money. Okay. A 58-year-old man will spend the rest of his life behind bars for, murdering his mother. The Dakota County Attorney's Office announced that a judge sentenced Troy Mitteness to life in prison without the possibility of parole. A jury previously convicted him of premeditated first-degree murder and intentional second-degree murder in connection with the death and dismemberment of 82-year-old Sandra Mitteness. Troy Mitteness reportedly told Burnsville police that he stabbed his mother in his residence in June 2022 after he spent all of her money, and she became suspicious. Prosecutors said Mitteness dismembered the victims days after her death and placed her body parts in plastic totes. He then reportedly drove to Appleton and scattered her remains into ditches along the road. Dakota County Attorney Kathy Keena said, I want to extend my gratitude to everyone involved in this case, except the defendant, of course, particularly the jurors who were exposed to and had to consider some very grisly facts. I'm deeply appreciative of your verdict and hard work throughout the trial. Well, Yeah, that's got to be pretty disgusting. The different body parts and everything. That's the thing. These people who do that, you know, murder can be a lot of work. And since this guy was just spending all of mommy's money, and then decided to kill her when she, caught him at it. I mean, you spent the money; it's over and done with. I don't know, but obviously he doesn't want to work, and yet you got to do all this, Oh well, you can just obviously easily chalk this up to what a piece of crap, and that's that. Still, the state's got to feed him, take care of him, give him a place to sleep, just like mommy used to. Hey, how does he really lose here? Death penalty. A. Thompson, yes. Price floral spray for or what? Well, the floral display is really expensive. He says hi to Susan. Nodak says nope, just south of the Twin Cities. He does. How do we get Doug more viewers? We got to get this guy monetized. I don't know. It's a mystery to me. It's just the way things are. Some of us get monetized. Some of us don't. Oh, wait. What the hell? Where's the one I had? Oh, crap. All right. Just, talk amongst yourselves. Come on. I know you're in here. Stop hiding from me. Man, I had this. Maybe it's, oh, yeah. Is that it? No. Ah, crap. That could have been a good one. Damn it. Now I got to go all the way back. What? I must have accidentally clicked it off and some such idiocy of mine. No, not well. Oh yeah, this one. Should probably put that there. Not him. Oh, this is where I put it. Yeah. All right. This buffoon will do. I guess we'll put this idiot in here too. All right. A little behind the scenes things that may or may not be significant. But from parents to grandparents, that's why this particular story, I would guess, fits in with the theme that I've been going with, until this. Police say teen attempted to relieve grandma's suffering. Well, that's probably love there, You want to, they're just suffering. You want to take the pain away from those you love. So a teenager from Maine is in custody after allegedly attacking his grandmother with a hatchet, claiming the Grim Reaper compelled him to do it. So what? The Grim Reaper was getting lazy that day? So, hey, could you help me out here? I'm a little sore today. And handed him the scythe, Jeez. The Penobscot County Sheriff's Office reported that 19-year-old Ethan William Herbert, down here they call him A-Bear, yeah. But I'm guessing they probably say Herbert up there, Anyway, was taken into custody following reports of an assault at a Glenburn, Maine residence. Upon arriving, police found a 59-year-old woman, later identified as Herbert's grandmother, with serious injuries. She was promptly transported to the hospital. Herbert reportedly fled, but was soon captured by authorities. Herbert's grandmother claimed he was instructed by the Grim Reaper to attack her. The grandmother noted that Herbert was previously prohibited from entering the home before the incident. Oh, so she kind of had an idea there's a problem with this idiot. She recounted that he was in conflict with his grandfather when she intervened. He allegedly assaulted her with a hatchet and knife. The police report mentions that the grandmother said Herbert apologized by saying, "I'm sorry, Grammy, but I have to," before allegedly advancing on her, violently swinging the hatchet at her head and arms. She reportedly sustained a head injury necessitating partial removal of her skull. When questioned by police, Herbert allegedly claimed to have been hearing demons urging him to just do it, kill her, put her out of her misery. He reportedly asserted that the Grim Reaper instructed him to attack his grandmother. Herbert was arrested and charged with attempted murder, domestic violence, elevated aggravated assault, and domestic violence aggravated assault. Okay. He remains in custody at the Penobscot County Jail. So he's, a nut. And, of course, possibly going for I was crazy. I heard demons, and the Grim Reaper told me to do it. Usually they say the devil told me. He was talking about demons and stuff. But then the Grim Reaper pops in and says, "Hey, man, your grandma's number's up. Could you help me out here? Because I don't know. I'm busy on my phone or something." I don't know what his story is. I don't think it'll hold up. But he's a teen, so his record will probably be expunged. So, good luck with that. I'm looking at chat. Yeah. A. Thompson, Doug and Earl. It's very odd how there are no viewers here. Doug must be doing something wrong with the keywords titties. Oh, well. Yeah. No, like the Grim Reaper is a huge Nike fan. Just do it. It could be that. That's like one of his sponsors. So he had to say that. But I mean, outsourcing the job to this kid didn't work. I mean, the woman survived. She's alive. I'm going to go with the Grim Reaper was not involved at all. The devil, maybe. But Grim Reaper, nah. He's probably innocent. Innocent. Anyway, back to perverts, Let's see here what this idiot has to share with the world, Controlling rapist who claimed to suffer from sexsomnia as a legal defense learns his fate. All right. So a convicted rapist who planned to argue he committed the crimes in his sleep has learned his verdict. Dean Final. Yes, his name is Dean Final. 32 of Lancashire or Leicester, I don't know, England, was sentenced to 11 years and 8 months in prison after admitting he physically, sexually, and emotionally abused 2 former partners. Final, in his final statement, pled guilty to 2 counts of rape and controlling or coercive behavior. Prosecutors said Final strangled and then raped one of the women he was dating in February 2024 after she challenged his controlling behavior. Final regularly stole or hid her phone or keys to restrict her movements, placed cameras around the house to control what she was doing, bombarded her with messages, and accused her of cheating on him. Over the next 2 nights, Final forced the victim into sexual activity when she was too terrified of further violence and control to refuse. She eventually escaped the home and reported the incident to police. From very early on in this investigation, it was apparent that Final wanted to completely control every aspect of the victim's life. Detective Constable Caitlin Duggan from Worcestershire police said in a release, when interviewed by investigators, the victim claimed that Final's eyes were closed while he raped her and that she thought he may have been asleep. What? Prosecutors said this led them to believe Final could use it to claim he was affected by a condition known as sexsomnia, a controversial and rarely accepted sleep disorder in which people allegedly commit sexual acts while asleep. That's usually just, the wet dreams. You don't really get up and run around and grab somebody, Anyway, prosecutors said the claim had no merit, and after arguing it in court, that defense was excluded from the case. They even brought forward an expert in sleep disorders to disprove that claim. According to the CPS, the defense did submit a report to claim non-insane automatism, but it did not include any medical expert opinion, just the observations made by the victim. Well, that is interesting. The victim says, I think he was asleep while he did it. And then the guy's like, huh? All right, yeah, I'm going with it. Anyway, prosecutors also pointed out that no diagnostic testing had been done on Final, and their expert could not currently agree on what diagnostic testing should look like. Well, yeah, it's hard to figure that out when you're making it up as you go along, Come on, cut in some slack. Additionally, prosecutors put forward evidence that in one of the rapes, Final had gone into a different room and picked up a sex toy before returning to rape the victim. All right. That yeah. We argued that these were conscious actions that were not consistent with someone operating in their sleep. Soon after Final entered his guilty plea, prosecutors said, his sentence also includes convictions of assault, controlling and coercive behavior, non-fatal strangulation, and criminal damage offenses committed against a second former partner in Lancashire. So these are like 3 different places. Anyway, I lost my whatever. Dean Final has been exposed. Well, yeah, for what he really is, a violent, manipulative, and controlling individual. He is where he belongs now, where he cannot do any more harm to women. The other men, well, I don't know. So in addition to the prison sentence, Final was issued with a restraining order and a sexual harm prevention order. Huh. Yeah. Well, I wonder what all the criteria is for controlling coercive behavior would be like. I would assume like, some violent threat and stuff, which she says here. Controlling, I don't know, him constantly badgering her. Where you been? Where are you going? That kind of thing. Could you just be convicted on that alone? I don't know. But whatever. Another prime example of, him being a piece of shit. Pretty much. That's all there is to it. And there really is no truth to sexsomnia. I don't think so. Especially when the sleep sex walker, whatever, stops. Oh, wait a minute. I want to use this sex toy. And it goes back in his room, digs through the closet, whatever, finds it, comes back. Yeah. And then, oh, yeah, I got to keep my eyes closed. I'm asleep. Anyway. Susan Dolan says, Doug, not if they try him as an adult. Then he's got a record that any employer can look at. Yeah, if they do that, then yes. They don't always. Depends on where it is. Nodak prison is his final destination. A. Thompson, sexsomnia. I like that excuse. Well, good luck with that, Although, at least, think this through. You go I'm just going to have to do this without the sex toy. Because if I stop and go and get it, it's going to be obvious. I'm not asleep. So, Susan Dolan, he's in Britain where they arrest you for hate crimes if you fart. Well, that's true. So, I guess he didn't fart during the ordeal. So they can't get him with that. But he's going to, they give him 10 years. So that's impressive for, Britain. So, and as far as I know, he's perfectly fine on Facebook. So they're not upset with him there. But yeah, they still don't allow rape. Well, Anyway, what's our next story? Oh yeah, this one. Well, I guess I should go through the murders before I get to one of these, because we'll get these rotten, nasty killings out of the way. Maybe I'll save. I don't know. Well, I guess I'll save that one for the end. Yeah. Okay. We'll do it like this. Sorry. It was supposed to be lined up accurately, but it wasn't. And, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. I don't know. Leg sticking out of pink suitcase on highway leads to murdered mom's body and her 3 kids abandoned states away. Jeez. So a 43-year-old man killed his girlfriend in Missouri and stuffed her body in a pink suitcase before kidnapping her 3 children and taking them some 400 miles to Iowa, where he abandoned them to flee the country. So would you take them? I don't know. I guess he didn't really think this through, except that he picked the pink suitcase because I guess it was hers. And he thought she might appreciate that. Muhammad Tuksau, Muhammad, a permanent resident from Somalia, pled guilty to kidnapping resulting in death for the slaying of 25-year-old Jessica McCormick. Muhammad came in onto police radar on July 16th, 2019, when McCormick called 911 to say he held a knife to her throat and tried to force her to have sex with him at their apartment in Noel, which is in the Ozarks. McCormick also expressed concern that Muhammad would harm her children, one of whom he fathered. She ran outside and called 911. So this is back in 2019. And you stayed? Well, okay. He's going to go up, McCormick told dispatchers, referring to her apartment. She was then overheard yelling at Muhammad, Tito, stop, please don't. He's going upstairs to the kids now. Come on, she screamed. Police rushed to the apartment, but Muhammad fled the scene. It was the last time McCormick was seen alive. Well, you mean by them particularly, right? Not just anybody, because that's a lot of years. McCormick and her kids, who at the time were ages 4, 2, and 6 months, were reported missing July 17th. How old is this story? Okay, I guess it took them this long to catch him, I guess. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to have sex with her. She said no. Tito, stop. The McDonald County Sheriff's Office on July 29th, 2019 received a 911 call from a man who saw a pink suitcase with feet sticking out on Missouri Highway 59 in Lanigan, roughly 6 miles from McCormick's apartment. It appeared the suitcase had fallen from a bluff above, tearing the zipper and exposing the feet. The body was badly decomposed. Around the time McCormick's body was discovered, Muhammad called his cousin in Minnesota and told her he was bringing McCormick's 3 kids to her. When the cousin asked why, Muhammad said something bad had happened and he could be in trouble. Muhammad arrived at the cousin's home in Rochester, Minnesota on August 1st, 2019. The cousin gave Muhammad some cash to rent a hotel room, but he returned to the cousin's home a couple of days later and tried leaving the kids with her. Instead, she gave Muhammad money for another hotel room, but he ended up taking the kids to a friend's home in Des Moines, Iowa. Police recovered the kids, who were not physically harmed, on August 8th, 2019. The friend told cops that Muhammad had shown up with the kids a couple of days prior. On the day they were recovered, the friend said she woke up to the kids crying around 4 a.m. Muhammad was nowhere to be found. He had left her a note saying he could not care for the children and had left. Meanwhile, the suspect told other friends he didn't know where McCormick and the children were. "I'm trying to find them," he said in one message. "It's just the safety of her and the kids is what everybody is worried about." "Who the fuck has my kids?" he said in another. Sometime between then and September 19th, 2019, Muhammad fled the country and traveled to Guatemala. Police obtained a warrant to search Muhammad and McCormick's car and found clothing items with her blood on them, along with items that appeared to have been bleached. Investigators also spoke to one of Muhammad's friends who sold him the pink suitcase. Oh, so it wasn't McCormick's. Okay. Anyway, he probably thought getting a pink suitcase would be a nice touch, you know. Anyway, Muhammad was detained in Guatemala and extradited back to the United States in July 2021. He's been in federal custody ever since. The defendant faces life in prison when sentenced at a date to be determined. Life sentence. Okay. Whatever. Plaid car. I feel bad for Thai chicks. Oh, for poor Thai chicks. Hey, Thompson, why do you feel bad for Thai chicks? Plaid car. Your last message, LOL. Oh, about the, yeah. Hey, Thompson, hey, I'm the victim here. You were asleep. That's true. If the one with the sexsomnia, you know, is running around having sex, and you have sex with the sexsomniac, aren't you the rapist? Well, plaid cord, damn brain. Yeah, you could just always blame the brain, you know. Nodak, she's got legs. She didn't know how to use them. Oh, jeez. Plaid cord, ZZ Bottoms. Nodak. So anyway, that's how that ended. You know. But still, he did take the time to think, I think she would prefer a pink suitcase. You know. It's probably, he thought, doesn't that count for something? No, it doesn't. Man camping with husband fatally stabs him in the head with a screwdriver. So a 39-year-old Arkansas man is accused of killing his husband, allegedly stabbing the victim in the head multiple times with a screwdriver and telling authorities that his spouse started it. Gregory Stephen Witt was taken into custody and charged with one count of first-degree murder in the slaying of Kevin Witt. So one of them took the other one's name? So they do that? Which one's the bride? I don't know. It was Kevin was the bride. So he was formerly Kevin Pennington. Oh, okay. Gee, Doug, read the whole paragraph, stupid. So there you go. Kevin was the bride, and his husband murdered him. Anyway, the Crawford County Sheriff's Office responded on Thursday, August 21st, to a wooded area near the 1400 block of Catcher Road regarding reports of a deceased adult male. Upon arrival, authorities followed what appeared to be a man-made trail into the woods to an apparent campsite that contained blankets, backpacks, food, and drinks. Well, sounds typical enough so far. While canvassing the area, authorities reportedly said they located Kevin Witt's body about 100 feet from the campsite with blood visible on his hands, face, and neck. 2 Phillips head screwdrivers were also located at the site, one on each side of Kevin Witt's body. Huh. I wonder if that was some sort of symbolic message. I don't know. Well, investigators soon learned the victim was married to Gregory Witt and that the couple was last seen together in the woods the previous evening when a witness reported hearing 2 men fighting, screaming, and struggling in the woods. Now, of course, they didn't want to go see what was going on because it might have just been, Anyway, the following day, the detective on the case learned that Gregory Witt had been arrested and booked into the Crawford County Detention Center. There, he allegedly confessed to killing his husband and asked to speak to the detective. When the detective entered the interview room, Gregory Witt, again, allegedly confessed to the murder. Gregory was visibly upset and crying, stating, "I miss him," several times, and stating, "I killed him," and that it was over drugs. Gregory then stated that Kevin started it and that Kevin swung at him and that he swung at Kevin and that it escalated to where Gregory picked up tools as weapons and then he tried to stab Kevin in the temple a couple of times and that he doesn't know how many times he stabbed Kevin in the head. Well, it sounds like it was a lot. When pressed for details about the confrontation, Gregory Witt reportedly told the detective that he did not know how many times he stabbed his husband, but said he did remember that he strangled Kevin Witt. "I flat out choked him out," he allegedly told the detective. Well, Gregory Witt is in jail after a judge set his bond at $1 million. Because, it's a violent murder. All we know is that it had something to do with drugs. So I guess they were fighting over the stash and says, "You always bogart the stash and it's not fair." Something like that. And then screwdrivers in the head. And strangulation. Yeah. Yeah. Supposed to have been this romantic getaway, But, he screwed it up. All right. Susan says hi to Plaidcore. Plaidcore says hi back. Plaidcore says, "No, that got it." Well, that's nice. Wait. Is it back on? Why does it do that? It's all of a sudden, EV Mux will just turn off the mic. I guess it doesn't matter because I was looking for the next story, but that's disturbing because while I'm reading the story, I don't know if it's doing that all of a sudden, you know? Damn it. Really annoying. Woman charged with hit and run told boss she had probably killed someone on the way to work that morning. Well, okay, just make sure you complete your shift before you clock out and deal with that. A Florida woman allegedly hit a pedestrian while driving toward work in the early morning hours, killing her and fleeing the scene. Aaliyah Cruz, 24, struck and killed Danielle Stilwell, 27, on August 18th, the Polk County Sheriff's Office said in a statement. According to officials, I'm guessing the county sheriff's office, a call was made to the sheriff's office shortly before 4 a.m. regarding a woman lying in the middle of West Highland Street in Lakeland, around 35 miles east of Tampa. First responders arrived to find Stilwell deceased. Well, she wasn't well anymore. In the roadway, and broken vehicle parts indicating a vehicle was involved, although no vehicle was found at the scene. Those parts included the front driver's side fender liner and a piece of the front bumper. Surveillance video from a nearby gas station showed what was later identified as Cruz's car. Traveling westbound from the scene of the crash on West Highland, the vehicle made a right turn at the red light, heading north on Wabash, then immediately made a U-turn to head south. The vehicle then turned right to go westbound on West Highland Street. The vehicle did not remain on scene, nor did the driver render aid or call for help. The car was later located in the driveway of a house on West Highland Street. It was also missing a piece of the driver's side bumper and the front left wheel fender liner, consistent with the parts left behind at the scene. Well, investigators determined that the car belonged to Cruz. Cruz herself told detectives that she had left her home at around 3:50 a.m. that day to go to work at a Publix warehouse and that she had to be there by 4 a.m. Her daily route to work took her west on West Highland Street. Okay. She told detectives that she was driving. A truck approached her from the opposite direction with high beam lights on, impairing her vision. Well, those do get really bright. The truck turned right, and then she observed a woman lying on the roadway in front of her with her hands over her face. She told detectives that she swerved right to avoid striking the woman and went off the road into the grass. She said she believed that she did not hit the person, but she was not sure. She said she turned right at the light, then made a U-turn to the middle of the road and went back to West Highland Street to head to work because she didn't want to be late for work. Yeah, you know. After arriving at work, Cruz reportedly told one of her supervisors that she possibly killed someone. Cruz even reportedly showed her supervisor pictures of the damage to her car, and her supervisor responded by urging her to call police and report the incident. I don't really want to say anything, Cruz reportedly said. She allegedly made additional statements, including, I know I didn't hit them. I don't think I hit the person, and I know I swerved. It's unclear from the surveillance video whether a truck was heading eastbound prior to Cruz turning right and making a U-turn. There isn't anything on the video to corroborate her story, the Polk County Sheriff said. According to the sheriff's office in a second interview with Cruz, she said she told her boss she was worried because she was unsure if she struck the person or not. She reportedly asked her boss what she should do. He said that she should have stopped and that she should notify the police. And I guess she thought, yeah, that's just not going to work for me. Court records did not reflect the pending charges against Cruz, probably manslaughter, who appears to have a history of traffic infractions in the county, including speeding and failure to stop at a sign. So she didn't really learn her lesson from those nth and nth either, you know. And now this. Yeah. Yeah. So at the very least, she should have her license revoked, right? Oh, well. Look, she didn't want to be late for work. I think we can all understand that. Hey, Thompson, when you get monetized, are you going to Streamlabs? I don't think so. Hey, Thompson, she didn't want to be late. I get, yeah, see? That's the deal. And I'm sure she'll argue that in court. Your Honor, I just really didn't want to be late. I can't lose this job. And the boss is like, yeah, I'd say, hey, don't be late. You got to be on time. That would be the disciplinary action. Now look at you. Oh, well, unless, she's been constantly late and the guy was like, one more tardiness and good, dude. Instead, she shows up on time to tell him this. It's like, you know what? This ain't going to work. All right. Now to an update. Florida nurse Alexis Vaughn Yates takes plea deal after husband caught her allegedly having sex with 15-year-old stepson. So the Florida nurse, whose husband allegedly walked in and caught her sexually abusing his 15-year-old son, is taking a plea deal that will significantly reduce her prison sentence. Alexis, wait a minute. Didn't I already do this one? She got a plea deal. She's like, huh? I did? Yeah, you did. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I did this one, right? I think so. All right. So that's it for you. That's it for you. Oh boy, Pat's right. You never want to put that thing on there. Ugh. All right, I'm stumbling through. So this will be the light note that we end on after all those, murders and perverts and all that crap. It's just no good. And sexsomnia. Oh boy, we don't want to make that a thing. Susan Dolan, yeah, but she should have called her boss after calling 911. Her running away for whatever reason doesn't help her. Well, no, that's the main charge. Look, these accidents happen. I don't know what the deal is with the victim here. But that doesn't matter because you got to at least stay there once something like that happens. It's really bad, but you got to stay there, try to offer aid, whatever, running, you're definitely going to the clink or whatever. 8 times the stepson, pornography, IRL. Well, whatever. But I think I already covered that one. Yeah, she got a plea deal. So she'll be fine. Yeah. Fake dentists use nail glue to attach veneers, causing patient to undergo emergency dental care. With real dentists, I would imagine. A Florida woman is accused of performing dentistry without a license. And that's the real violation here. And inserting veneers on patients who subsequently had to have emergency surgery. Emily Martinez, 35, faces at least 4 counts of practicing dentistry without a license in 2 counties in the Sunshine State, along with a scheme to defraud charge. Martinez allegedly advertised on social media under the name It's the Veneer Lady to insert the veneers for a dramatically cheaper price than the going rate. In one case, Martinez incorrectly put in the veneers, causing the patient pain and injury. A real dentist had to perform emergency dental surgery to save her natural teeth. I guess so, with that crap superglued on there. And discovered Martinez allegedly used nail glue to insert the veneers. And she probably, that's how it's done, right? The victim told cops Martinez presented herself as a licensed professional, but she later learned the suspect had no such certificate. In another case, the victim suffered ongoing consequences from Martinez's shoddy work. Martinez allegedly charged the woman $1,600 for the veneers, but the veneers kept falling out. The defendant tried putting them back in on 2 different occasions, but the same problems persisted. Martinez allegedly refused to refund the victim and then ceased contact. As a result, cops arrested Martinez on a scheme to defraud charge. Cops say Martinez was operating out of a strip mall in Pinellas Park. Pinellas Park Sergeant Wendy Vader said that the victims have spent thousands of dollars trying to repair their teeth. Yeah, that's got to suck because the whole motive was to get a cheaper version of this. And, well, you get what you pay for, you know. She is not licensed to put in veneers, said Vader. She has no schooling to do veneers. And in the state of Florida, obviously, you have to be licensed to do any kind of work like that. Martinez also is facing a separate charge of practicing dentistry without a license in Hillsborough County. Unlicensed veneer techs have become such an issue nationwide that the American Dental Association issued a statement in May 2024 warning that the procedure, if not done properly, could cause irreversible harm. Yeah, they just want their cut. Anyway, risks that may be associated with services from unlicensed individuals include potential infection from adhesives and curing devices that are not properly sterilized, or from placing veneers over unhealthy teeth or untreated cavities, nerve damage from improperly trimming or filing the teeth, and potential choking hazard during placement. Oh, yeah. What if you swallow one of those, you know? Martinez remained at the Pinellas County Jail on a bond of about $40,000. Guess she didn't make enough of that with her nail-glued veneers, you know? Yeah. And she's like, hey, come on. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm just trying to make my way here. But look, at least her operations was run out of a strip mall. Remember the woman who was doing plastic surgery out of a shack in her backyard? So, I mean, Martinez made a little more of an effort here than the previous idiot. Yeah. But again, you get what you pay for. All right. That's the final story. See, a light note. I mean, sure, it's sore teeth and they're out of a lot of money, but, you know, there's no real perversion here. There's no murder. That's nice, isn't it? I wonder what brand of nail glue she used, you know? So maybe that would. Hey, Thompson, actually, dental glue isn't that far from CV glue. Well, all right then, but maybe it's the application, you know? That could be the thing. Hey, Thompson, they don't want people to know, so you keep paying dentists. Well, I mean, the stuff fell off. And to get them back off, they had to surgically do it while attempting, and apparently it was successful, I guess, to save the teeth. Because, I mean, sure, you could just pull them out, but and then you can have fake teeth because of your fake dentist. Typically, when it goes, you know, especially some kind of healthcare, in this case, oral healthcare, whatever, you kind of want a professional to deal with that. And just some broad at a strip mall. I know how to use nail glue. It's probably not going to cut it. That's probably not going to make it up to snuff with professionalism. But she did work out of a strip mall, not a shack in her backyard. All right, that's all we got. Oh, Lugs McGurkin. Greetings, Doug. Heads and hi, Doug. Well, hi, Lugs. And bye, Lugs. This is the end of the show. I got a little over an hour in. Good enough. Besides, my voice is just going. It keeps cracking. I'm going to lose my voice. Hey, Thompson, it's UV hardened Star Bond. Star Bond. It's like a space stage James Bond, you know, spies for the Federation or something. So Susan says, hi, Lugs. Lugs says, thank goodness I didn't miss the thrilling conclusion. Yeah, that's right. Don't ever go to a fake dentist. It's not a good idea. Don't worry, you can back it up. There's all kinds of, you know, perverted people, another teacher sex scandal, people being really nasty to their parents, hit and run, and a fake dentist. So, you know, we're all caught up. We're all caught up. So good night, everybody. Bob Levy went to a fake dentist. He went to a Turkish dentist, didn't he? Well, I guess it worked out for Bob, you know. Susan says, good night. Good night, Susan. Lugs, I'm considering going to Mexico one day to get my teeth done for cheap. Wish me luck. All right. All right. Just make sure they're licensed. I don't know. I wonder who does all their qualifications. They probably don't. I don't know. Well, Lugs will find out, and then he'll tell us the whole story after his mouth heals, you know? So there you go. Good night, everybody. We'll do it again soon.
Killers, killing it, killing it, killing it, killing it. Nailsin News. News. Where all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? While killers be killing and killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News.